Welcome to We the 98ers. I'm Thomas Schooley. That's Evan Bush, Bushman07 on Twitter. Unfortunately, Aiden can't be here today. He's, I think, lost.
Where is he?
I think he's in a jungle in Georgia.
Okay.
He was doing some kind of summer camp that he's helping teach or something.
I got you. I mean, at least I had kind of an excuse last week not to be on the
show. Yeah, I know. He said that he could do the show. It just he would have to give them advance notice, but then he's been off MIA on Facebook the last couple of days.
That seems like a lot of work to do. Now I see why he didn't come on the show.
So, yeah, I seem to be able to get you guys both in the same place once a month or something like that. Other than that, one of you guys are always MIA.
I know, but at least we do the show. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yesterday I was trying to do the lightning one, and I was driving and hit rain. So I think I was on it for all of 2 minutes, and then I just let the other guys take over.
It was almost fitting, too. You got rain and the lightning lost. So it was kind of fitting. The rain happened.
The whole way. In case anybody doesn't notice, I'm sitting here in a hotel room in Pensacola. So I was like, I got to bring my laptop. Going to be here for a week. Got a lot of shows to do between the two.
There you go.
So let's look back at the last. So I have here last 10 games. We're 7-3 in the last 10. Just finished a sweep of the Orioles. We did a split with. Who was it? I can't even think of it now.
I believe the split was with Washington at home.
The
split was with Nationals. So
2 games there.
Which that second game I thought we could have won anyways. But it's been good. It's been a good stretch of a week and a half. We're up to this point playing the Chicago White Sox, which a lot of analysts out there think it's either the Rays number 1, the White Sox number 2, or the White Sox number 1, the Rays number 2, and whoever thinks the White Sox is number 1, they're crazy. They should be put down to number 2, so it's all good. But it's going to be a good series with these two teams.
Yankee fans are still thinking they're number 1.
Dude, oh my God. Have you seen the amount of denials like it is on Twitter, especially for Yankees fans, still thinking like they're the number 1 team in the league? Like, oh, we're still number 1. Just there's MLB.com so biased. I'm like, usually you guys are favored by MLB.com. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it's so biased. Like, you guys suck this year. Like, and that's good. Like, keep sucking. Keep being.
I mean, I have friends that are Yankees fans, and they're in denial. I mean, every once in a while, I'll be like, what are you doing? And they'll be like, watching my team lose. And then I got a text message the other day saying, at least something's going good. My team's winning. And then they blow it in the 8th inning. And it's like, never mind. I'm going to go jump from the Skyway.
It's a great day yesterday. So the Yankees lost yesterday. The Red Sox got destroyed by the Blue Jays yesterday. I think it was 18-3. So anytime we can gain a little bit of ground, that's fine, man. And we're up 3 games over Boston, 7.5 over Toronto, and 8.5 over the Yankees. And Baltimore can just kind of snooze and just lose the rest of the way, which they've been doing for the past couple of months or so. Whenever we play the Orioles, it's a nice, good stretch of wins right there, no matter what. So that's a good thing.
19 games back there.
I'm surprised they haven't fired anybody yet with that team. It's so odd, but hey, it's the Orioles, man. What can you expect?
So during this stretch, let's see, we just had Randy hit a grand slam on the last game.
Mm-hmm. Grand slam, Randy.
They've been seeming like those bats. Me and Aiden talked about it last week. You know, they had the hit show as their motto years ago, and
I remember that.
Like it's back this year.
And it's, to me, it's been more consistent than it has been, because we see these spurts from time to time where the Rays, they have a great stretch of games where they're just hitting like crazy, and then all of a sudden it just stalls out and they go cold for like another couple of weeks or so. So at least it's been somewhat consistent with this team where they go on a stretch of games where they're just hitting runs in. I mean, they still have a problem with runners in scoring position, which is it just frustrates me the most when they have guys on base and they just can't get them in. That's one of their Achilles heel is they can't get guys in sometimes, and that just frustrates me. But they've really strung in a really good couple of weeks where they've just been crushing the ball well, hitting the ball well, and bringing guys in. So I'm excited. I think going up against a team like Chicago is really a kind of a true test to see how the bats will do, especially against a pitcher like Lance Lynn, who Lance Lynn has been rolling the past 5 games recently in his start. So, it'll be interesting to see if that trend continues into this series against one of the best teams in the AL. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Chicago.
I was just taking a look real quick. They have not scored less than 3 runs since the 26th of May.
Wow.
And that was still a win against Kansas City, 2-1. But every single game since then, whether it's been a win or a loss, they've scored at least 3 runs.
And you know what the good thing about it is, Schoolie, is we're not relying on home runs a lot. I mean, we've seen those big bops here and there, and I've always said this: the Rays are a true small ball team. You get runners on base, you hit a single here, hit a double here and there, and that's what they are doing really well. They're not like there used to be a couple of years where the Rays tried to get those big bats in and they try to rely on the long ball, and it didn't work out. But going back to basics like they did last year and continuing on to this year where they're just a small ball team, it's working out in their favor because the pitching's doing well and the hitting's doing well, and it's flowing into the summer. And that's where the dog days of summer creeps in, because that's when injuries happens. That's when teams go into the All-Star break going, okay, what's our second half going to be? You know what I mean? So it's rolling right along, and things are quite nice. Being a Tampa Bay Ray fan.
Yeah, I said something about Randy's grand slam, but it really has been. I mean, look, for him to get that grand slam, he had the 3 on base. I mean, It has been, dig it out, and then if someone hits the long ball and gets you in, great. If not, a little bunt, a little single, whatever it's going to have to take to get a run in.
I love the fact, too, that Cash is kind of going into his Joe Madden-esque playbooks when it comes to putting different guys at the leadoff spot, like having Manuel Margot lead off the other day and him having a leadoff home run in the beginning of the game was really interesting. So it's really good. I mean, Austin Meadows has really turned it around this year. I mean, he's tied for first for RBIs in the league this year. So, the guys that we wanted to see turn it around have turned it around this year. And then this is a great time to do it. I mean, we're the best team in baseball right now. It's a good time, man. Good times.
Brings me into the All-Star. Who do you think? Do you think Meadows gets in? I've seen a couple advertisement now MLB has been putting out.
Here's my thing. I don't pay attention to the All-Star game. It means nothing to me. It doesn't really it's not how it used to be where the All-Star game was kind of like, an event to see, kind of like what the NBA All-Star game used to be. Like, to me, I wish they would just go do away with the All-Star game altogether, but just keep in the home run derby, keep in the skills challenges like they did. Like the celebrity softball game was all cute and everything. But when it comes to the All-Star game, it's quite boring. It really is. Like, give me the games where you had John Kruk, trying to get away from, pitches from Randy Johnson back in the day, or turning his helmet around because it was funny. Whenever the All-Star game comes around, it's like, okay, we have a nice little break from baseball, and then we can get into the second half. I haven't watched it in years. I think the only thing I've watched when it comes to All-Star weekend is the home run derby, and that's it.
That's all I usually watch.
Yeah, but I mean, if Austin Meadows gets in as an All-Star, great, congratulations to him. But other than that, just really, it's lost its flavor to me.
It has, I think, to the fans, but I still think it means something to the players.
It does, yeah.
Especially to a player like Meadows, someone who's coming from a small market team, that doesn't get much recognition. And if he gets voted in there, I think that's going to mean a lot for him compared to like a Vlad Guerrero or someone who's used to it, and it's just going to be a popularity contest for them.
Right. And usually it is too. I mean, it is definitely a popularity contest, and you've got guys like, Aaron Judge is leading in votes, but he's having a shit year. Like his year has been so bad, horrible year, and he's on a horrible team this year, but he still gets votes because it's a popularity contest. So that's why I don't watch, man. That's why I don't watch.
I mean, I think I was seeing where New York fans are busting Judges.
Good for him.
Yeah, that they're not too happy.
I would also say this too, Schoolie, is I'm kind of against the All-Star game too, because then you run the risk of having your players maybe get injured. And that, to me, when you put them at risk, when you're trying to win, the trophy, is why would you have your best players out there when you're going for something else instead of having an All-Star game? So I'm usually against it because there's a risk of injury involved. But hey, I'm not a manager. I'm not a GM. I don't run the league.
I gotta think that one of our pitchers gets in there.
I would think Tyler Glasnow does. I mean, that's a given.
I would think he would have to get in there, and if for some reason he can't go, I could still think of one or two.
Which I would be fine with. If he gets nominated and gets elected to the All-Star game, great. But he can sit out. We need him. We need him in the rotation. He can sit out. He can be a spectator. That is fine by me. Get your vote. Get elected to the All-Star game, but sit out. Just say, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks. Exactly.
Tonight's matchup. You touched on it before we went on air.
Yeah, it's a good one. Glasnow's coming off another gem he pitched over the Nats last Tuesday. Allowed 1 run, struck out 11, and only 1 walk on 114 pitches. You know what? I want to go back to, we've seen, I think, lately that Kevin Cash is letting his guys go longer into games. Like Yarbs had a complete game the first time in like 700 and something games. We've had Dick Mountain, Rich Hill going deep into games too. Glasnow's going deep. Is it the turn of the tide where Cash is like, you know what? I have starting pitchers for a reason. I don't have to use my bullpen anymore, which is great. So I do like this matchup against Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn, like I said earlier, has been rolling. He's past 5 games. He's 5-0 with a .88 ERA. So, Rays hitters, look out. It's going to be a tough one tonight. It's
for the year, he's 7-1 with a 1.23.
Yep. That's and Lance Lynn, who I always thought was kind of an afterthought for a while in the league. He's been bouncing around teams for the past couple of years. I know he had a stint with the Phillies, and I think he was with the Blue Jays maybe for a season or two. So, him go. Like the White Sox really have had this hype for the past maybe year or so where, this could be the year where they're actually good, and they are actually pretty good this year with all the talent that they have on their team. So this is going to be a great series. I think if the Rays come out of this one taking 2 out of the 3, I think that'd be a win-win for me. What do you think?
Last 2 years, he was with the Rangers, Yankees in 2018, Minnesota also in 2018.
So I was way off with the teams he was on. Way off.
And then from 2012 to 17, he was with St. Louis.
Okay, so I was way off. My bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 out of 3 out of this series. I think you're happy with the 2 out of 3, and I think me and Aiden was talking to him last week how from here on out, just taking 2 out of 3 or a 4-game series 2-2, you're going to call that a win for here on for the rest of the rest of the league. You're going to stay above the other teams as long as you can either split it or be on the up end of each series. The Rays are gonna end up first place in this division.
I totally agree. I think it's, you win the series, every single one, sweep them or win 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4. That's all you need to do is take those series and just keep rolling what you're doing right now. And they've been rolling the past, couple of months, and which is great. Usually we see a Rays team that kind of sputters coming into the summer months, but so far it's been so good. So it's great to see this happening. And congrats to Shane Boz, the Wizard of Boz, being promoted today to AAA Durham. He got promoted up from the Biscuits. G-Man Choi was activated today, so he will be in the lineup. Mikey Brasso was optioned back down to Durham. I want to talk about Taylor Walls. I mean, to the window, to the walls, man. He had a great series against Baltimore. This kid's really disciplined at the plate. He's playing really good shortstop. All the people that wanted Wander Franco to come up, it's like, we've got this guy named Taylor Walls who's doing pretty good, and you got Vidal Brujan too, which is waiting in the wings. So, for all the Wander Franco people, just wait. It's coming. Don't worry. It's having Taylor Walls in the lineup and having him on the bases is really good too, man.
And Walls is getting some national attention too.
Yeah, he definitely is, man.
I've seen some things on ESPN. I've heard some talk on the sports radio chatter. So he's definitely a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
That they weren't expecting to happen.
Definitely.
And touching on that cash letting pitchers, I forget who it was, but I want to say it was either Hill or Yarborough. A couple rotations ago, he had pulled them early, and
I think that was Yarbs. I think that was Yarbs. Yeah.
And Twitter universe went crazy. And ever since then is when he's been letting them in, because everybody was talking about how it was a replay of the World Series last year. And ever since then, he's been like, I'm like, is he finally listening to the people? Is he finally?
I think it is, man, because the quality starts that these guys have been giving them have just been phenomenal. I mean, it's been almost lights out when it comes to the guys on the mound. And when you have, Rich Hill really going in deep in the games, which I was a skeptic when Rich Hill was brought onto the team because, filling in for Charlie Morton, who is the elder statesman of that rotation, him going to Atlanta, and you're trying to figure out, okay, should we bring another veteran presence? And, Rich Hill is that guy that's, I honestly thought was a washout because he's been in the league for a long time. The past couple of seasons he's been with teams, he's gotten hurt, gotten injured, and then hasn't played the rest of the season. So, bringing him and the way he's been pitching, he's not throwing any gas to you, but he knows how to be a finesse pitcher and throw those off speed, pitches and just really beat you with what he knows, being an old guy on the team. And what I really like about it too is, say what you want about Rich Hill, but I really think he's filled into those shoes that Charlie Morton left behind. Now, he's not really filled in all the way, but he's really been a nice fill-in for Charlie Morton, being that elder statesman of the rotation. So Rich Hill I tip my hat off to you, being the old guy on the team, a.k.a. Dick Melton, by the way.
and I think that not only the pitches he's giving you, he gets the ground balls too when needed.
Right.
And gets out of some jams. I mean, I've been lucky enough to see 2 of his games now. And he'll get you out of jams if he's in something. And you're like, oh, why isn't at times you want Cash to pull them, and then it's like, oh, he's putting them back out there, and then he gets them right out. And I'm like, oh, all right.
To answer Greg's statement, I think that faith is starting to come in. I think he's having more faith in his starting pitchers, and that's going to be really good after the All-Star break, because that's when we're going to really see, what teams are going to be pulling away from the pack and headed towards, playoff run. If we can have the freshest bullpen going into the playoffs, that's what you want. So if his faith, which we're kind of seeing in the past couple of weeks, where He's relying on his starters to go 6-7 innings. That's going to be great going into the summer months and then going into the fall. It's going to be awesome.
Less analytics, more faith.
I think maybe after the World Series debacle, Cash was probably like, you know what, I may need to go back to basics and just be a manager and manage a baseball team instead of worrying about matchups and analytics and all the other stuff that maybe has hindered this team to really get over the mountaintop to get the championship.
So let's talk about someone who's still on the team.
Is his name Kevin?
It is. It seems like every single show we're like, will he be traded by the next show?
He had a good series against Baltimore, so that helped his stock out a little bit. So
it's like all of a sudden he's like, nope, you ain't gonna get rid of me. Here I am.
I want your true opinion, Schoolie. Do you honestly think he's gonna be dealt by the trade deadline?
I don't. I think if they can get something good in return for him. I think with the injuries already this year, they're probably getting a bag of baseballs offered for him. And I don't think they're ready to give that up yet for a bag of baseballs. I think they would have to put some kind of something together, even if they put a prospect in there to get something back. But I just don't see them trading him. I don't see teams offering too much right now because of his injury prone this season.
Right. And I agree with you on that one too. My last month I could have said, yeah, he's probably going to be dealt, but now I'm not so sure anymore. You know what I mean? It's almost like they don't really need to.
Right.
At all, because, he's a premier center fielder. He's really great on defense. His batting it sputters here and there. He's fast on the base pass. He can steal bases for you. Well, Greg, it's going to be coming soon, but you never know. But, they don't have a need to trade him. Unless there's like an offer out there, like the Rays are probably like, okay, this is intriguing. Let's see what we can maybe do with this. But yeah, my probability now for him getting traded is probably at 10%.
Yeah. I think they stick with him.
Yeah, I think so too. Because you never know. He could catch fire and start hitting like crazy in the second half of the season, which, we haven't seen yet, but you never know.
I think the way they're going, I think you don't want to make too many changes.
We were talking about this the other day on my other show, Play the Bay.
Isn't this the kiss of death right here?
Yeah, it is kiss of death. What are you doing?
Jersey. That's
why you get it customized, Greg. Why you get customized. We were talking about this the whole trading thing the other day on my show, Play the Bay, where why rock the boat with another trade. Now obviously the Willy Adames thing has worked out in our favor so far, and it worked out in Milwaukee's. He's doing pretty good in Milwaukee too, but why rock the boat even more when you don't have to? You know what I mean? Like why trade away a guy that's, good at defense and everything where you don't know what you're getting back? And, who's really going to fill in for KK? I mean, yeah, Brett Phillips could maybe be center fielder, but he's not Kevin Kiermaier's in center. You know what I mean? So why rock the boat?
And now they've upped the capacity at the Trop.
Yep. I think it's up to 20,000, I believe now.
Yep.
And maybe half that shows up, even though it's a full.
Nothing up in the 300s, right?
I don't think so yet. Greg, to answer your question now, we said this before the show started. Choi has been activated. He'll be in the lineup tonight. So, yeah, you'll be able to see his splits and everything. Somebody made, tweeted out the other day on Twitter was if the Rays went and did their promotion, I think it was 2 years ago, where they did the $3 and $5 tickets?
Yep.
And the games were packed?
Yep.
Like, if I was Stewie, I would maybe do that. You would have so many people go, especially now we're in the summertime, and you would pack the house full of people. I mean,
and I know right now they're doing 2 free tickets if you go get the vaccine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I need my 2 free tickets because I got my vaccine the other day.
You didn't get it at the Trop, did you?
No, I did not. So I had to have gotten it at the Trop to get my 2 free tickets. Well, son of a B.
You had to do it in Lot B, I think it is.
Can I get like a third shot, or that might kill me?
I know. I saw that, and I was like, well, I got my second one a month ago. Can we do it all over again? Like,
I tell you what, I got my second one yesterday. I got my second one yesterday, and I feel like Kevin Kiermaier's hitting. Like, just really. really crappy.
I can't stop looking at Mickey Mouse behind you.
Yeah, when you've got a 3-year-old that you got to keep her busy when you're doing podcasting. So.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. So,
so let's see. Any last words before we get out of here before the game starts tonight?
you know what? The increased capacity of the stadium. Let's fill up those seats, man. Let's get there to the Trop. Let's cheer for one of the probably the best team right now in all of baseball, and let's bring the noise when they come back in the town. We've got this road tripper going on. Tune in tonight. It's going to be a good one, a really marquee matchup. I'm really surprised that ESPN didn't put this on their channel. Glass Noah going against Lynn, 2 top teams in the league. So it's going to be a good one. What do you got, Schoolie?
And they're fun to watch. We talked about ever since Troy has came back, they have gotten that fun back, which they had last year that took them to the World Series.
Yep.
And they're having fun again. They got the bats are hot. They're playing the field good. I mean, this is a legitimate team again this year that everybody thought last year was just a fluke.
But Brett Phillips, by the way, is a national treasure. Him faking out the ump with thought he was charging the mound.
Yep.
Priceless. Like a national treasure. If you don't like Brett Phillips, you are not a human being.
And we'll have to bring out the whiteboard again during the playoffs because that seemed to help us.
Yes.
We'll have Shooter and Stash back for the playoffs. So right now we don't have a certain date because we've been working around the Lightning playoffs, but we will start posting more and we'll try to set up some dates and get it out there for people. We're getting more and more viewers, and we only got Greg chatting in today, but we've been getting it a month ago, and someone's like, hey, that's right near my house.
Did he buy you a taco, Greg?
Did he say welcome to Moe's?
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll get this consistently and we'll get going. We just have to work around the Lightning playoffs and
damn Bolt's making everything. So
yeah, some daddy duties,
daddy duties,
day camp work, and then me traveling for my work. So, but we'll be back again sometime next week. For now, go follow Evan on Twitter. Oh, where are you at there? Go follow him on Twitter. You can check me out on Twitter. I think it's TommyBoy1014. And from here on out, raise up.
#raise up. #Stu sucks.
Thanks for joining We the 98ers.